Hello and welcome to episode 135 of Nolo Time. My name is Jovet Velez, and with me is the most interesting man in the world, Joel Young.
What's good? No low time. Obed, it's good to be with you. Or Kratos? Obed? Kratos? Not
Oh,
sure.
yeah, boy. Well, if you can't see me right now, if you're only doing the audio version and not watching the video on YouTube, yes, I did shave my head. Is my guess my quarantine buzz, but it's actually growing quicker than I thought because I did it on Sunday. Now it's like
Yeah, I can see
already
it.
already oh you can already see it. So I mean my hair grows pretty fast, at least on the sides and the back. so so there's that. But yeah, man, it's about time. It was probably like 2 months since my last cut, so it was overdue. I know that there's dudes out there. I know you had it for a while. You just busted, but yeah.
I just recently, yeah, dude. I got it cleaned up recently because if not, I said it to you, man. I did not want to be a 2008 Jonas brother.
Yeah, yeah. Joe was not a good fan, although he would have been a big hit with the ladies. So there's that. You know, he's still
Oh.
available, ladies. If you're interested, so he's still there. Joe, what's up, dude? How
Dude.
are you?
Oh no, I'm great, man. I'm great. Yeah, still no cabin fever for me. I'm good. I like getting my runs early in the morning and get my fresh air in limited capacities and come right back to the cave. So I'm good. But no, not too much going on my side. Took Memorial Day weekend to just stay in. Did some restaurant, that kind of thing, and also did some shopping for some stuff, some sales, taking advantage of. Uh, but one of the things that did happen more recently that I was able to jump on, and we're going to talk a little bit more somewhat-ish about this stuff later. But HBO Max is actually included with my Spectrum subscription.
Or because
So
you have HBO
right, so
included?
they
Okay.
they they instantly upgraded me into that. So I was able to get on that. That came out just yesterday, and looking through it right away, it's a very large library, and I'm pretty impressed that they have uh, like stuff from, like, we're talking like 40s like to like now, of course. And I'm pretty impressed with that, like, vast amount of content. I do think, though, there's a couple areas that I think this probably has to do with, like, things like the DC Universe Online and other places maybe that they've spread out some of their other properties, but I think they need to still work on consolidating those things into HBO Max. Like for the DC stuff, they have an entire DC section on there, and they have pretty much all the new DCU movies, but there's still some that are missing that are not on there, and I kind of wonder if that has anything to do with between DC Universe Online or because some of them were traditional older films that are probably on the DC Universe Online. And so I really think if they do consolidate that DC Universe Online with HBO Max, that would probably bring greater value there. They do have some pretty good anime on there as well. They may deal with Crunchyroll.
Yep.
So
So the thing with Crunchyroll, and I forgot to mention it last time, it's that apparently they have a partnership with Warner, um, or Warner invested in it, something, right? And actually they were looking to uh, sell it, and Sony was interested in acquiring it since Sony owns Funimation. That would have been quite a powerful take if Sony would have taken that. But interesting, they actually have anime. Yeah.
Yeah, and I think that's what's really cool about, like, even though that they've dipped their toes into some of these other genres on HBO Max, like there's something for everyone is what I would really say. Um, I think that's one of the positives, is that there is something for everyone, but I think that they're also with the work again, trying to figure out how they consolidate some of their stuff. I think that's where their strength's going to really come in, because having it's cool that's included. I'm happy that I have that. There's some new movies that are going to be coming on there that I'll be interested in trying to catch simply because they're on there. Joker's one of the things that they really are highlighting. Hey, watch Joker, watch Joker.
Yeah.
But for the price that it is, and it's a pretty expensive price. Again, I'm fortunate that it's factored into my overall package subscription. Like, yeah, I'm still paying for it, but it's one of those things of like, if you just don't have that and you're not interested in it regardless, like I think that price point is scary. I think that was a $14.99 a month or something along those lines.
It's pretty steep.
That's pretty steep. That's a lot.
Yeah. I
So
mean, depending
I
on the amount of anime they have, because that's one of the reasons why I canceled my Crunchyroll subscription is that it went up to like almost $10 a month, and I was like, that's too much. I mean, and Disney Plus was around the corner. I was like, I'll just stick with Disney Plus, which so far has been a pretty good deal. I mean, they're adding
oh
good
yeah.
stuff, so
I
definitely worth it. I mean, yeah,
Yeah, I find myself more recently getting on Disney Plus and just finding random things and just being delightfully surprised by it. Like for a while, I'd seen that they had two different Marvel documentaries on there. Like, building universe, expanding the universe. Watch both of those. They're like these things are. It sounds like, oh, documentary must be 2 hours, 40 minutes for one of them. The other one's like literally 12 minutes long. This is pretty cool because the last one ended with the most recent Comic Con. I was like, oh, geez, not gonna be able to experience that this year, but
yeah.
like yeah, it's pretty good stuff on Disney Plus right now. I still think if you're gonna spend, which that's it, $5.99 a month,
6.99.
6.99.
Yeah,
Okay, yeah, like man, it's worth it if you're somebody who's on the fence about it. They're adding to it constantly. Once things start to figure out to get to normal, you're gonna get that Falcon and the Winter Soldier coming in, and some other Loki and other stuff. So there's plenty of content.
yeah.
But yeah, HBO Max. Hopefully they grow more. I have to remember it's the infancy. So try to comparing them against like a Disney Plus or something else. Tough, but there's promise. There's promise.
Cool. All right, man. Nothing much on my end, dude. It's like it's been the same for the last week or so. I finished season 3 of Rebels. I
Okay.
watched the first episodes of season 4. So and I know season 4 is shorter. It's like 17 episodes. So I'm almost there. I'm almost finally caught up with Rebels, and I really haven't watched anything else. I started playing Final Fantasy 7 on hard mode. I
Oh
thought I was
wow.
gonna yeah, I thought I was gonna go into RE3, but I like that game so much. I was like, you know what? Let's give it a try, and it's pretty challenging on hard mode. You reach the level cap pretty quick because the level cap on this game is 50. Um, and once you start on hard mode, you reach it pretty quick because the enemies have a lot of XP. I was not expecting more weapon upgrades at that point, but hey, you know what? They're pretty good upgrades at that level, and pretty challenging. You can't use items, so that's the big thing, right? If one of your party members goes down, you have to use um, the revive materia instead of Phoenix down. So you have to like manage your magic better, and if you run out of MP, you're done because you know it's tough. I mean, luckily the enemies have the same amount of HP, um, but they do a lot more damage. Like something that would do before 10% damage now would do like a 30% damage,
Wow.
and they have new moves as well. So pretty good. Again, highly recommend that game if you're a fan of Final Fantasy VII. It, it go with an open mind, and this is not a remake; it is a remake. So
Teasing me every time.
yeah, yeah, yeah. I will do that until you play it, sir.
That's
Um,
good.
it's pretty good. It's pretty good. Speaking of PlayStation, Joe, the I know that there was some fan outcry for the PS Plus games that they released for the month of May,
Yeah.
which were like Train Simulator and some. It was like two like really random games, and that
Farming or something.
yeah, it was like Farming Simulator and like a Train Simulator. Right? It was like, what the heck is this? It was super weird. It was super weird. So they announced last week, and they made it available early, that Call of Duty World War II was going to be available. So that's already available for download. I already got it. and they announced today that Battlefront 2 is going to be their second game for the month of June. So if if you were looking for excuses not to pay for Battlefront 2, I highly recommend that you give it a try. It is a great game. There was an update today, interestingly enough, and the update came out today because I played PS4 yesterday, and the update didn't update, but this morning Battlefront 2 updated for me. So I'm wondering, it had to be a bug fix or something, because I don't think they already said they're not adding more
That's what I
content.
thought.
Yeah, so it has to be a bug fix. Um, Although the last few times that I tried to play Team Deathmatch, it was again going back to like a full room, and then the next match is like three people and no one connects, and then I get out and I go back in, and then I go back into full room, get two full games, and then going back to a room with three people. And I'm something in their matchmaking is broken, and that may be what they attempted to fix with this patch. So that may very well be it. Although Galactic Assault was full. Like I played a few games of that late last week. I think it was Friday last week after we recorded, and and it was full. Like it was like all 40 players were in, and on two matches. So it was pretty good.
I'd
But
suspect it's gonna be pretty busy this coming weekend now. Or
so
yeah,
next week, yeah,
next week. Yeah,
next weekend's gonna be a great weekend to actually play Battlefront, because it's probably gonna be packed. It's probably gonna be packed with a bunch of noobs, and going in with my purple all purple level cards with like level maxed out level. I actually maxed out the level and got the gold trophy because I
Oh,
maxed out the level. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I've been playing it for a long time,
awesome.
and yeah, I really enjoyed that game quite a bit. So no excuses now to actually grab it and give it a try. Um, Joe, there's a you wanted to have a conversation about what we talked about last week about the Snyder Cut for Justice League, and I know that for some weird reason, like there has been pushback, but from not even studios, but from journalists or people that cover this sort of thing. Um, are they just salty because they said that this thing was not going to happen, or I mean, what's happening here, man?
Yeah, this is people who were like very this is the kind of people that, were so egotistical about always being right, and they probably do have legitimate sources and legitimate things. I'm not saying that these are illegitimate journalists by any stretch of the imagination, but have such a confidence behind their news that when they get something like this wrong, because let's just put it straightly, it's an opinion piece. When you start saying that this will never happen, no one knows the future. Like, no, it doesn't matter. I remember a few years ago, and this is actually quite a while ago, when there was the Spider-Man, the Amazing Spider-Man first Amazing Spider-Man movie came out, and I tweeted at a journalist. This is long time ago. Tweeted at a journalist. I can't remember which one it was. Tweeted at him, said, "Any chance do you ever see there being a day where Spider-Man joins the Avengers, where Sony and Disney make a deal?" And this guy straight up said to me, "No, it's not. That's never going to happen." And we all know the history today.
Yeah.
Um, Look, like, I do think a lot of these people that are upset about it have some valid points, though. I think, like, the reality is that it got done because there was such a fan demand for it, right? But they do have a point behind when some of them start saying, like, putting 20 or $30 million out for one director's cut to be finished, like, that now leaves the door for many other directors to start coming in and saying, like, well, hey, I didn't have my cut of the movie. That wasn't my thing. You guys came in this, and this. I can get you more money if you put this out, or I deserve to have my cut, or give me a chance. However they want to spin it or pitch it, they actually have an opportunity to pitch it because now they have a case study that they can point to and say, this is happening. So my point being around this is, like, let's have a discussion about like director's cuts for a second there, because there's a few different
Yeah.
things that started reacting to this. So some of the ones I talked to you about this a bit, like there was something fans campaigning for a director's cut of Revenge of the Sith, a 4-hour director's cut of that movie, right?
Yep.
Then you've got another one where David Ayer, the first Suicide Squad movie that came out in 2016, I believe it is.
Which I think that if there's a movie that deserves a director's cut other than Justice League, is probably that one.
Interesting. So you have that one that also says that he's got a cut and he wants that one to come out on HBO Max straight up. And then you got Josh Trank also coming out saying that, yeah, you'll never see the light of my movie, and he actually saying don't petition for a director's cut because it's never going to happen, and he doesn't want it to happen.
Yeah,
But
he's because he was
he's
so
over it.
sour. Yeah, he
Oh
was
yeah.
so sour with what happened on that movie that he's like, screw it, I'm not gonna do it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, but it just finds interesting that to the point of some of those journalists that were saying, like, look, this is not going to be good for the industry. This is not going to be good for the space because other people are going to come in and try and get money. Okay, like, yes, people are going to start using their platform to get people to start tweeting about it, talking about it, putting blogs out about it, whatever it is to say, oh, director's cut of stuff. And I remember saying to you, Obed, like with the Snyder cut, I didn't know if it was real. If it is, I would be interested in watching it, but I wasn't going to be saying I knew for sure it was real. Um, and if it was, I'd be interested in watching it. That's kind of similar, like with some of these other things. There's some things up that fans are talking about director's cuts of certain movies that do we really know that there's a full-on 4-hour director's cut of Revenge of the Sith, or is there just like what there's some things out there I'm saying that like there is a cohesive story where the studio steps in and they rip the movie apart, right? And they make it something completely different. And then there's other opportunities where there wasn't a full cut, a full completed story, maybe not even missing CGI or anything, just that literally it was just something they were trying to piece together, and a totally different direction was taken just overall on the project, and that doesn't really signify director's cut.
Yeah. Yeah, I really don't think that. I agree with you. I don't really think that director's cut of Revenge of the Sixth actually. I don't want to say that it's real. I mean, if it's out there, right? It's very improbable that it's gonna come out. I'm not saying it's impossible, but it's very improbable. And the reason being, when you look at Justice League, and again, they're gonna do some reshoots that doesn't involve the main cast, but when you look at Revenge of the Sith, a lot of the footage was cut for a reason. I think that George Lucas was, he had complete creative control over his movie because
Yep.
for those of you that didn't know, back in the day, Star Wars was an independent movie. From the original trilogy up until the prequels. Um, that used to be, Lucasfilm was an independent studio, so they were not under any constraints from Fox to, hey, make this 2.5 hours or make it 2 hours and 20 minutes or whatever. George Lucas could have done whatever he wanted. Um, so that's why I think it's probably not possible. If there's something possible, it could be like an extended Order 66 or something in that nature, but I don't see anything else actually making it. On regards to like journalists and talking heads saying that this is like a dangerous precedent or whatever, it's like, no, you're stupid. Because why is giving the director the freedom that was taken away from them back a bad thing? I mean, I can give you examples of movies where the director's cut of the movie is way superior to the theatrical version. Superman 2, Kingdom of Heaven, Robin Hood, that same director.
Yep.
Um, I mean, I can Daredevil, Elektra, and actually the director's cut actually makes sense. So, like, I mean, I'm not saying that those two movies that they're still not good, but they are a better product, right? They're a better product. And the best example I can give, the most recent example I can give, is Batman v Superman, where
It's drastically different.
the ultimate cut is it's miles better than
Not doesn't feel
like
like the same
the
movie.
theatrical version is unwatchable after you watch the ultimate
Ultimate.
cut. It's I mean it is what it is. It's crazy, right? Um, there's a director's cut of the Wolverine that I've never watched. That's an
I
R-rated version.
have. It's much better, dude.
Okay, yeah. So you see, there's great examples out there. Come on.
So I think my response to exactly what I feel same as you, like, that that there's great cases and great points to show of successes of directors cuts. I think if anything, why this is not harmful but actually progressive for the industry is that it might tell sometimes studio heads just simply to back off and let these guys make their movie right the first time, so you don't have to deal with
Exactly.
the director's cut shenanigans of spending another 20-30 million
And
to
fans
refix
going
it.
crazy.
Right.
Oh, you guys
Because
didn't
they
do
know
this
what's up
right the
because they
first
can
time.
now. Now they have an ability to
Exactly.
tweet the director, and director responds back, yeah, that's not my movie. I didn't
Exactly.
have, you know, this Steppenwolf die by his own parody. And it's like Wonder Woman beheaded him in my cut. Now directors can do that where it wasn't like that in the past.
Correct. Yeah, yeah. Now things are out there. It's like wrestling, right? Like the veil behind wrestling got
Oh
removed
yeah.
when the internet came in. And now we know what's up. And it's the same thing with movies, right? It's these things are now well documented, like within minutes of stuff happening. Uh, these things are just well documented, and they're out there. So whereas before you can, you know, oh, they're making a Batman movie, change director in the middle, like with Superman 2, right? With the Richard Donner cut. When
Yeah.
Richard Donner got he actually finished the movie, and the studio said, "Oh, we don't like it," and he quit. And then they got another director to recut the movie and do reshoots. No one like the general public didn't know that stuff happened until many years later. Now we within minutes we know. So
It's totally different now.
it
So now they should know that, look, hey, we need to give these guys their space because if not, the
absolutely.
story's going to come out.
Absolutely. So I think this is great.
Lucasfilm.
Yeah, yeah. Lucasfilm, take note, like I said last week, because if there's a studio out there right now that could definitely uh, take advantage of this sort of movement, and we'll talk about Lucasfilm here in a minute.
Yep.
It's Lucasfilm, because we know that there's a a 3 hour cut of Rise of Skywalker that has a drastically different ending, and it's from what I've heard a very different movie. So
Imagine they dropped something like that on Disney Plus.
dude, that Disney needs the good PR right now with at least with the Lucasfilm. When Lucasfilm's concerned, yeah, they do need that. So I would say that they just announce it, right? And so it's like, hey, we're gonna work on this thing, and we're gonna release it only on Disney Plus. I mean that. I think what HBO is doing here, what Warner is doing now, that they reshuffled everyone, and I guess the people that needed to go are not there anymore, and and now that they have a platform to put their content out, I think that other companies are going to follow suit, and especially Lucasfilm. I'm not saying that there's going to be a director's cut of Aladdin or anything like that, but when Star Wars is concerned, we will probably see something like that, which takes us to what happened on Monday. But I saw it and I was gonna text you, and I totally forgot to text you because I started like reading through it, and then I think it happened while I was out getting new tires on Monday, and I wasn't
Yeah.
feeling too great. Uh, and I saw that, and like, is there actually like fans petitioning for a sequel to Solo, which I guess was announced way back when, but we totally forgot about it because I remember seeing something about Solo, about a sequel to Solo that being in the works. But man, it's nuts.
Yeah, that's why I had to share this with you because I'm like, usually petitions and those kinds of things we don't talk too much about here on No Load Time, just because most of the time nothing much comes out of it. But this one was really weird and interesting because it just out of the blue just literally took Twitter by fire on Monday, and I mean to the point like Forbes wrote an article on this thing, like people started picking it up, trending, fans petitioning make Solo 2 happen, and just tons and tons of discussions around. Hey, you need to give us this movie that you promised us or whatever. And I'm like, people really cared that much about Solo 1?
I know.
Yeah, Solo 2. It was pretty amazing to see
That's
that
interesting.
happen.
Yeah, yeah. Because I mean, we all know Solo's not necessarily well regarded in the Star Wars fandom. It's definitely on my. I would say it's lower tier on
Lower
my
tier,
tier.
yeah.
Yeah, like I would still watch Solo over episodes 1 and 2, but I mean, I guess people want to see more Childish Gambino, I guess, or
Which
Chewie.
would be the hardest person to bring back into the mix. But he's the right person.
So busy. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
he's so busy, but I mean, he would be the one guy. Some of the discussions started going around putting a series together for Disney Plus, like a solo series. I don't want that.
uh,
I think if you're going to do it, you got to finish the story. If you whatever you had in place for Solo 1, you do for Solo 2. Directors and people involved with the story, because that thing changed drastically. Like there was one movie at one point, right, with these two director by Lord Miller, right, and then the next moment it's a Ron Howard film. So do you bring back Ron Howard? Do you get entirely new person? If you
get
like,
a
there's a
Lord Miller cut.
oh my gosh,
No.
no, this is yeah, nah,
That's
nah,
why,
I'm good.
yeah, Lucasfilm is like it's weird, right? It's
It's weird.
because they I mean, we all know what happened with Justice League, where Snyder had a family tragedy. He had to
Unfortunately,
step away, and uh Avengers dude, uh
Joss Whedon.
Joss Whedon. I was gonna say Will Wheaton. Uh Joss Whedon finished the movie, but Zack Snyder was still credited as the director, right? Uh Solo is like they were like 2/3 done with filming, and they get fired, and then they get reshoots for basically the entire movie.
And the stories
So,
that were coming out from that set seemed wild.
well, really, I haven't dug into
Yeah.
any of that, yeah,
Like it just
but
sounded like that was going to be a completely different movie. And there's certain things you can kind of notice when you watch it where you can tell that there was more humor in the script. And then Ron kind of brought it to that Star Wars very like safe zone for
yeah,
things. I'm
yeah,
not saying that humor is unsafe. I'm just saying it's not like traditional Star Wars. There's Star Wars has its humorous moments or humorous characters,
yeah, yeah.
but like you're not going to catch like Obi-Wan dropping, your mama jokes or something. Like that's just not gonna happen. So so I'm just saying, like,
Yeah, make me
Obi-Wan.
pass out on the air, Joe. What the
Oh
hell?
no, don't go on me. So I'm just saying, like, Star Wars is not traditionally that
Oh,
kind of humor, right?
yeah,
Like
yeah.
it's very there's moments for it, and there's people for it, there's places for it. Jar Jar Binks was nearly murdered for his humor. It was too
Did you
much.
did you see the Jedi Temple Challenge trailer?
I haven't watched it yet, but I've seen the thumbnail and it's been around.
Okay, okay. It looks fun. It's like Legends. Remember Legends of the Hidden Temple
I
from
do.
Nick? It's basically that with Star Wars, and
Ah.
it's Ahmed Best, aka Jar Jar Binks, dressed as a Jedi. Like he's the Jedi Master,
No.
but he still talks kind of like because he's Ahmed Best, right? So
That's him.
you can't change his voice. So he sounds like Jar Jar, actually like serious Jar Jar. It's weird. It's like super jarring. You know what, Joe? You know what? Let's. I'm gonna have you watch the trailer on air.
Oh, this is gonna be
All
great.
right,
Let's do it.
I'm gonna look it for. I'm gonna look for it.
Let's do it. Yeah, I'll keep going with the point while you pull that
Yeah,
up.
yeah,
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 I mean, like that's the thing, right? So like Jar Jar Binks was one of those characters that when he started being silly and goofy, and people say it's not humor, he was just being goofy. I mean, there's a goofiness to comedy, right? And I think there was going to be more of that in the first Solo movie had Lord and Miller finished that project, and Ron Howard just came in and really made it more safe Star Wars-y for them. So yeah, I'd be curious to find out what they I said that's it right there.
It's right there. I sent it to you. All
All
right.
right, so
So
I'm gonna
Joel's
go
gonna watch.
ahead.
It's only about a minute 27.
You're gonna
So
get Joel's live reactions
you're gonna
here.
get Joel's live reaction to Star
Uh,
Wars Jedi Temple Challenge,
Starting.
created by Juan Scott Bromley of IGN and Comedy Button fame, now working for Lucasfilm. But yes,
Okay, this
Solo.
is pretty cool.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, it is. But it's jarring to to hear him talking like seriously, but he sounds like Jar Jar. It's so weird.
Oh no. Oh no.
Oh
Be-
no.
because he's trying to be
A serious Jedi
a serious
master, yeah.
Jedi, serious voice.
But he sounds like you can't change his voice. Like, oh, it's like
The mysteries inside. Oh,
very interesting nonetheless. But yes, I'm just gonna
oh,
wait
I
for
got
Joe.
tempted by the dark side.
I'm gonna
They got
give.
him using the Force on.
Oh yeah, that's pretty cool.
Oh, Yoda. Okay.
But pretty interesting. I think this show is gonna be on YouTube. It's not gonna be on Disney Plus. I think it was originally planned for Disney Plus, and now it's gonna be on the Star Wars YouTube channel. So
Yes, they're saying it's gonna be the Star Wars YouTube channel.
yeah, um, but yeah,
That is hilarious, man. No, there's like certain lines that this guy says straight up. I'm like, oh,
me second adventure, honey.
spot on, Jar Jar.
We're gonna do the that theory that Jar Jar was the Sith Lord. He was Darth Plagueis in disguise.
He's not training Jedi here. He's actually
Oh,
training
turning Sith.
Sith.
Oh,
And there's Sith holocrons.
Oh man,
And sweaty
get a
nerds
spin-off of the show.
on YouTube.
That was gonna be on Twitch. Yeah.
Forget though, there might be a director's cut on YouTube.
Nice.
Uh,
But yeah, man, very interesting stuff. So yes, Solo 2. I mean, I doubt it. I think they're moving in a different direction altogether. So that's what I think.
I believe it.
Yeah.
We'll see. I don't think that's. I think that was a very people-led thing. I don't think it's going to actually happen. But
Correct.
there again, Snyder could happen because of the people. So
Yeah.
I mean, this kind of disappeared after one day, but you never know.
Yeah. Going back to DC, because we're being a little bit like jumping in a little bit. I mean, we're still talking about the same topic. We're just including different things. Yeah, and again, they talked about Suicide Squad and you know all the footage from the Joker that got deleted from Suicide Squad. I mean, fans are not necessarily clamoring for more Jared Leto Joker, but it would be interesting to see. The other thing that came out of all of this thing is Henry Cavill back as Superman. Allegedly, they because of the reception of the news of the Snyder Cut and uh, fans being nice to Snyder and Henry Cavill. Apparently, this thing is on, man, which is
Yeah,
great.
this is great news. Didn't surprise me. The same person that was reporting on the Justice League stuff that I told you, like he's usually like 190% like of the time, right? He had a post on this like literally just before like his Justice League stuff, and he was like, "Hey, there's traction. This guy supposedly has talked to Warner's about coming back for a while, and he was supposed to originally be in that whole Shazam ending scene, which I don't want to spoil for you, because I don't think you've seen it, right?
I think I stumbled upon it
Okay, so like there was
on a trailer or something.
right. So he's supposed to be in the movie, and they altered it that he wasn't. But that just grounds to show that he wasn't done yet being Superman. And obviously with him, being in The Witcher and so on with other projects that he's involved in, his time is pretty taken up. So I'm sure it's a trying task to get him to come back, but Cavill's been pretty honest about wanting to still be Superman. He's been very vocal about the character even after not playing him for a while. So this is good news all around. But the real most interesting part is that supposedly he signed on for 2 more projects, and we're both unknown. But the things that we're hearing at the moment is that it's not going to be a Man of Steel sequel, and he's not going to be in the Batman or Black Adam. So that's what we're hearing at the moment. Again, all that could change, could not be true.
Are they
So
gonna save him just to do like Justice League sequels, or?
right, that's what I feel like. I feel like it's smart just to hold on and not announce what those plans are for him to be back, because you would assume right away would be Shazam 2. But at the same time, like, that completely changes the Shazam movie. You put Superman in a Shazam movie, I'm sorry. Like, it's not Shazam featuring, like, Superman on the side. Like, Superman is Superman. Like, he overshadows Shazam instantly. I'm sorry.
Oh yeah.
Especially if it's Cavill Superman, which we've already seen in action do some incredible stuff. So it's hard for me to wrap my mind around that. But like I said to you a bit in the last episode, like, supposedly Snyder had a 5-film idea, right? Man of Steel, Batman versus Superman, Justice League 2, and Justice League 3. That was gonna be his arc, his storyline, what he had signed on for after the first Man of Steel movie, when he signed up for Batman versus Superman. And so, if they're waiting to see, if maybe this is just me speculating, maybe they're waiting to see how reception is to this Snyder Cut. People love it so much that it is set up, and just, you know what? Why not try and get one of their biggest stars to come back? Because Superman was going to be a major part of the second and third Justice League movies. Specifically, Lois Lane was going to be killed off in the second movie. In the third movie, you were going to see a Superman without hope, which is something that's very dark and hasn't been seen before. So you would need Cavill to come back. You can't just pick some random person to come back in. I'm not saying that Batman isn't important either. I'm sure that they would like to have Affleck if it was easy, but I think they would probably change around if they had to. But I think Cavill is probably more important to come back in that role.
Yeah.
Out of the success that they've had in the DCU, or lack of success rather.
Yeah. We don't know if the Flash is gonna be back though. We still don't.
Dude, aside from that news story that came out, that was the weirdest thing.
And
Like,
he
even
faded
before this,
away.
I've been saying, dude, I didn't, like, no one cared, man. That movie's not
Maybe.
happening.
I mean, maybe he's gonna be kind of like I mean, Black Widow's getting her movie now, but I was gonna say maybe he was gonna be like a Black Widow-ish type of character where he would only show up on team-up movies, which is still a
I mean,
possibility, right?
he's the
So
Flash, bro. Like, we're not talking about, no offense to Black
I
Widow, is
know.
amazing. Like, he's the Flash, dude. Like,
Yeah, I
that's
know. He can
crazy to
bend
me.
time and space
Isn't
and
that
all this
crazy?
stuff.
Like, to think that we could have a discussion of Flash being a small background character. That's crazy.
Yeah. Well,
I'm not talking about Quicksilver. I'm talking about Flash.
yeah. Well,
Crazy.
it's kind of like, see, kind of like what the he got his Flashpoint moment, right, in the animated movies, but if you go back to the like the first batch of just like movies that came out, after Batman the Animated Series and the Adventures of Superman, um, he was like not a super like active character. Like, there was stuff that he would do, right, but he wasn't like, we freaking need the Flash here.
So here's what you do, Obed. You saw the Crisis on Infinite Earths crossover. So you know the scene where he's like, "Where am I?" And Ezra Miller's Flash shows up with Grant Gustin. You
Yeah.
figure out a way that Grant Gustin figures out how to get into their world, and you swap that out so quick, and
Oh,
everybody's good. Everybody's happy.
you know what, Joe? You may be onto something.
Warners, if you're listening,
Give Joe a call.
give me a call.
Interesting. That kind of like that. Yeah, that's makes sense. Yep. All right, I'm in. But yeah, good stuff from Harry Cavill. The guy is definitely not not hungry for a job. You know, between uh this and The Witcher and I'm anything else that gets thrown in, you know, he's gonna be all right. So we're
Oh,
good
for
to go.
sure.
Um, Joe, we got not too many gaming news. Did you watch that Last of Us 2 gameplay
I did.
uh reel from yesterday? I watched it today. Um, it's very impressive. Like it, technically speaking, what they're actually able to do with the PS4 is very impressive. There's no question. You know, there's no question around that. Um, Again, it's like The Last of Us 2 is not necessarily my cup of tea. So it's yeah, great storytelling. Um, I, I will wait, right, and play it when I get the chance. But when you go back to the technicality of this game and the I guess the technical expertise that Naughty Dog is showing, it's pretty incredible. Um, so I'm still amazed that it still runs on current gen
I
because it's like
know. I know.
it's
When I was watching
nuts.
that gameplay, I was thinking to myself, like, this is pretty good for a PS4. Like,
It is, yeah.
this is pretty solid stuff. I mean, but yeah, I'm happy to see a nice I'm not obviously like we're gonna see crossover between current gen and what's gonna be next gen. We'll see that crossover start to happen early next year and throughout the year. But like regardless, I feel like this is a nice like send off kind of like one last big one.
It is because I think it is the last big game,
Yeah,
uh, at least first party that's
right.
announced. Everything else is gonna come out before that. You know, well, Ghost of Tsushima comes out later.
Right, and I count Ghost
Yeah,
of
yeah,
Tsushima
yeah.
because I think between the style of things that we're into, Ghost of Tsushima kind of tickles our fancy right away more quicker. But like, it doesn't mean we don't
Absolutely.
understand the amazingness that is The Last of Us.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I'm sure that you know from a storytelling standpoint, this is gonna be amazing. So
For
there's no
sure,
question about that.
it's not.
But yeah, pretty impressive stuff, man. There's one piece of news that dropped today is that Sony actually patented a wireless charger for the DualSense controller. So that pretty much confirms that the controller supports wireless charging. To what extent and how, we don't know, but it's gonna be, you know, the patents out there. I haven't seen the patent myself,
And if
but I'm
it
sure. Mhm.
supports it, like how does that work with like current charging, like out of the box charging? Like, is it like accessory?
Well,
Is there
they confirmed that it's gonna have a USB Type C cable.
right? Yeah,
That's confirmed, but yeah, when it comes to accessories and the whatnot, we still don't know. Like we're in the dark on that one. We will find out more than likely sometime early next week.
yeah.
There's a rumor that June 3rd we are going to get a full reveal of the console, and I guess they're going to showcase some games as well. So it's finally here. so it's it's happening. It's happening.
It,
So it's finally happening, man.
what do you expect from that event aside from the obvious that they've said a very strong first party lineup? Is there going to be any other surprises? Anything that you're like for sure like, hey, does pricing happen? Like, what do you got?
I don't think price is going to happen. I do expect big surprises.
Okay.
Uh, and I don't want to hype myself because I don't want the same thing to happen to Xbox fans happen to me, where they were very disappointed by that showcase of games that they had. Um, I'm cautiously optimistic, but I do expect something uh, pretty substantial. Um, and this is basically, you know, they've said anywhere anytime between, you know, the third and the fourth, this thing's gonna happen. They're gonna show the console. They're gonna do a teardown. They're gonna show games, right? They're gonna have the full reveal, no price. I don't expect the price yet. I expect. I think. I think we'll see a price by mid-July when Nintendo does their showcase, because
Wow.
Nintendo delayed their showcase until July. So that's probably when we'll see pricing. There's a news article that I sent you this morning, and I found a different one today talking about Sega and how Sega's gonna like get back in the console business and all this stuff. Um, you have to. So although the old guys at Sega like Yu Suzuki and Yuji Naka and Yuzo Koshiro, all these guys are out. Right? They don't work for Sega anymore.
Right.
Um, Sega is not Sega, meaning that Nintendo's been Nintendo throughout this whole time, and PlayStation's been PlayStation since the PlayStation came out. Sony, whatever. Um, and Microsoft's seen they've seen the reshuffles. Like every console, it's someone new that's on uh, that's leading the pack. But when we talk to Sega, we have to go deeper, right? Um, basically Sega was technically bankrupt. They didn't have money. They didn't have cash back in the early 2000s when they discontinued the Dreamcast. Um, they 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 put some games on GameCube, some games on Xbox, some games on PS2. They didn't turn a profit for like 4 years. Like they were like out of money, dude. They merged with Sammy. Basically, Sammy um, merged with Sega and for and became Sega Sammy, what's now commonly known as Sega Sammy. I'm giving you a little Sega history here.
It's good.
Um, and then when this happened, there was this rumors that what was left to Sega was actually funded by the Yakuza, and that's why the Yakuza games are actually a thing, because they actually paid for Sega to not go bankrupt, because Sega basically controls the Japanese arcade market and pachinko machines and all this stuff. So and of course the Yakuza are connected to the pachinkos and all this, all this stuff that's going on, right, with pachinko and Sega. So you know between all these rumors and whatnot, Sega's actually able to turn around and make great games. The Yakuza games are great. uh you know and then they actually managed to put out some decent Sonic games, bring in some other some of their franchises, being able to publish a lot of great games like Bayonetta, the original Bayonetta, and Vanquish, and all this stuff from Platinum Games. Um, and then they acquired Atlas, and I think that was a turning point, because when Sega bought Atlas, it was a few months before Persona 5 came out in Japan, and then Persona 5 sets the world on fire and makes a bunch of money, and then all the Atlas games after that make a bunch of money, and then Persona 5 Royal made another bunch of money. So Sega's in a very nice place financially right now. That being said, Joel, Sega is supposed to make an announcement on June 3rd that was supposed to shake the video game industry. And I'm just putting two and two together, Joel. I mean, I don't think we're going to get the Sega PlayStation, right? Because they've already said that it's going to be called the PS5. But I think that there is something big brewing.
Mm.
Like either Sony is going to acquire Sega, and or they already did and they're going to announce it, right? On June 3rd. Or they're going to announce an exclusivity partnership for PlayStation, um, which would be crazy, right? Because I think Sega games do very well on Nintendo consoles too, like the Sonic games, like the Sonic and Mario Olympics are great. I mean, they could keep releasing them, like Minecraft, right?
Right.
Minecraft's on everything and it gets updates on everything. So, uh, yeah, dude. I'm just putting two and two together, and I'm just being a total fanboy here. Um, I mean, it's no secret. I've said it a million times that I was a Sega kid growing up, and I Sega holds a very special place in my heart. I'm actually getting kind of emotional talking about it, because I love Sega that much.
It's awesome.
Um, eh, so I think there's something big happening next week. I don't think Sega's gonna announce a new console. I don't think they're gonna wing it and actually announce a console with like no rumors or anything, right? Um, I don't think they're gonna announce their Dreamcast 2. Um, they may. I mean, they just released that Genesis Mini. They could release a Saturn Mini or a Dreamcast Mini or something like
Would
that.
that really be shaking the space?
Well, that wouldn't necessarily take the space, but now that I think about it, Sega released a commercial in Japan. I don't know if you've ever heard or seen of Segata Sanshiro. Segata Sanshiro was a mascot. It's like a karate guy that Sega had during the Saturn games, and they did the Sega Saturn commercials. Sega Sanshiro would be the one that basically like putting the Saturn out there. It was very goofy. When the Saturn died, when the Saturn got discontinued, um, they did a commercial. I think it was like Sega Sanshiro go like he was trying to save the world from like a missile or something, and he actually got shot into space or something like that. It was a
What?
ridiculous
It's
Japanese thing.
awesome.
Um, uh, and so I'm actually looking Segata Sanchiro here. um, and uh, they released a commercial a few weeks ago. It was like out of nowhere that this kid shows up in like school or something, and he's the son of Segata Sanchiro. And now they're like, maybe what they're doing, maybe they're releasing a Saturn Mini. I mean, now that I think about it, PlayStation did their Mini. They could be a Saturn Mini. Who knows, right? Um, but I think there's reason to speculate, and it's funny that I have not heard anyone put two and two together yet. And it's like the first thing that I saw when I saw that article is that what is Sega gonna do? What is Sega gonna do? Because I was like, I actually saw it. I was
Wow.
like, I'm nervous and I'm so excited, dude, to know
Wow.
what the heck this is. I am really really excited, Joel. Man,
Wow. So I could see them getting back into the space by an exclusive partnership. I could see it being something like that. Like Sega's gonna bring back X, Y, and Z, and it's gonna be with these guys. That would be a pretty nice move because then it would kind of give us a revival, like without them having to make their own console, which is not the move that they should be making or probably will be making. Um, yeah, I could toast. Oh my goodness.
I said you
Oh
got
my
you got you
gosh.
got to see Sanchiro, man. He's
This is
great.
awesome, dude.
Yeah. So it's evildoer. Um, yeah. So they had this guy do like a mascot, kind of like remember what was the Kevin Butler for PlayStation?
Oh
Remember,
yeah.
kind of like that, but he was like a karate guy. It was like the power of Sega Saturn or whatever. Yeah, it's ridiculous. It's awesome.
Oh, that's great.
But yeah, go ahead, man. I'm sorry to interrupt you.
No, you're good. Like I could totally see it being like an exclusive thing, like where they literally just straight up say like, whether it be with like could it be Microsoft? Yeah, could be. Could be an exclusive Xbox Sega, bundle or something, and then they're gonna like do something else that's in future partnership for a few years with them or something. I could see something like that being the case, but it's so mysterious. It's so
It is.
like so last minute too, and I mean that in a good way. I'm actually kind of happy that this is sneaking up on us because when in the age of everything is released beforehand or there's like a large amount of direction, there's very minimal direction we have for this. So you can either get really overhyped or you can kind of be like, oh cool, they're probably going to just put out something minimal, and then they get blown away. I lean more towards the place of that we're gonna have some pretty significant news to talk about come on our next episode. So
I
I'm
think,
excited
yeah.
to see whatever happens. According to what I'm reading here, it's saying June 4th.
Yeah,
Right?
June 4th. Yeah, well, basically around the same time that the PlayStation is gonna do their thing.
Man,
That
so
that's
see,
what
could that be coincidence? Maybe, but I don't know, man.
I mean. Are they gonna try and push a console the day after PS5 gets revealed? I mean, it's too much of a coincidence, Joe. I think I'm just putting to it. Maybe it's just the Sega fanboy in me, right? That's getting super hyped for this thing. Um, and one thing leads to another. Like when the Dreamcast died, um, I bought a PS2. Like that was my transition, right?
Wow.
And then now after PS2, I basically stuck with PlayStation ever since. Um, so, dude, I was like, I'm gonna wake up like, cause this thing's probably gonna drop like at 3 in the morning on Thursday, like Japan
Wow.
time, cause it's like, uh, uh, I am really excited.
You don't have your alarm set.
I'm nervous, dude. I'm like shredding over here.
That's awesome.
This is like my Spider-Man coming to the MCU moment, man. This is
I hope for you it's that big, man. I hope it's something pretty epic.
oh man, it's gonna be such a letdown. I know.
No, no,
Oh
don't say that.
no. Well, if you think about it, a lot of the like PlayStation has had a bunch of exclusive Sega games over the last you know
True.
few years. All the Yakuza games were pretty much on lockdown. Persona, um, going back to uh, even more games, and the Nintendo's having their Sega Sonic, their Mario Sonic Olympics, and Sonic being on Smash. So, I mean, maybe they'll keep Sonic and some of the other franchises like mingle around, right? But when it comes to like the big AAA stuff, it's maybe just a PlayStation thing. Maybe what they're gonna announce is that the DualSense was just a joke, and the controller for the PS5 is gonna be the Saturn controller, which is best controller ever. It's like going back to a D-pad with 8 buttons. That's it. Yeah, figure it out, kids. Yeah. So
Oh my
I'm
gosh.
really
That would be hilarious.
I'm really excited, dude. I I I I am just well. We'll see. We'll see. I mean, it's
It'll be here before you know
yeah.
it.
See again. I found another news article about it. Oh, the one I sent you this morning. That's like that Sega prepares for console comeback and they're about to get wrecked. I don't think that's going to be the case, man. I think you're looking at the wrong places. I think you're not putting two and two together.
Especially
So
the timing of when they're gonna be doing this thing. Like we're
yeah.
looking at PS5 being potentially June 5th or maybe before, and then this thing on the 4th.
Well,
I don't know.
they're saying that for the Forbes article or whoever from Forbes says that um that it may be the third or fourth for PlayStation.
Okay.
And then the see, here you go. Here's this section from the article that I pulled up, and this is from the Express. I mean, Express is hit and miss, but um they're saying that alternatively this there's a Famitsu scoop. Famitsu is a Japanese games magazine. um they're dropping this news the same day that they're going to have um their PlayStation thing. So
Coinciding. Maybe the console's revealed first, and
maybe
then we
they're
find out
maybe
there's something.
maybe they're gonna uh brand the
Yeah.
Xbox Series X as a Sega machine in Japan, which is totally possible. Not branded as a Microsoft machine, branded as a Sega machine. This
Like
is the
sell a
the
lot.
the Sega. trapezoid or whatever, the Sega rectangle. Um, that's I mean anything's possible, right? I mean even that would get me excited because I would try to get actually buy an Xbox, a Sega branded Xbox. I'll buy one, dude.
Import it.
Yeah, I'll import it. I don't care. It has Sega on it. I'll buy it.
Makes sense.
Yeah, yeah. So I'm good. Uh, Jill, that's what we got. I just did a quick scrub. There's nothing else going on. Take it
Nice.
away.
Yeah, no, guys, thank you so much for joining us on this episode of No Load Time. We want to invite you to stay connected, to go ahead, subscribe to the show. We're podcast versions on iTunes, Google Play, SoundCloud, and Spotify. You can also subscribe to our YouTube videos as well. In addition to that, we want you to stay connected by following us on social media. So go ahead and give us a follow at No Load Time. That's at No Load Time, and that's going to be on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and Twitch. Also, go ahead and send an email if you'd like to noloadtime@gmail.com. That's noloadtime@gmail.com. Uh, feedback, questions, comments, we welcome it, appreciate it, and hope you guys continue to enjoy. Share this episode with your friends. So we're gonna find out something big. I sense it, man. I
Something
mean, we
big
already
next
know that
week.
there's gonna be the PlayStation thing's probably gonna be next week, the Sega thing. So some stuff's coming. Stay with us, guys. We're gonna have some good things to talk about, I think.
Thank you guys. Stay safe. We'll see you next time.